Hey, trig functions of any angle, not just right angles anymore, but any angle.
That's the difference between this section and 4.2 is that now it can be above 90 degrees. It doesn't have to whatever. And so we have to kind of come up with a standard thing that we do so that we can all, like no matter who we talk to about these angles, we all know what we're talking about.
And we can get to the same thing mathematically correctly.
And also there's some really neat things that work out mathematically if we do all put things in the same place.
Yeah, so let's dive in, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Okay.
So we have an angle is made up of two rays, an initial side and a terminal side. That shouldn't be anything new. Here's
Initials where you start, terminals where you end, just in
Right.
case you're not sure on that.
Right, and here's our initial side fish. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an alpha.
Alpha, yes,
Yeah,
alpha.
okay. And then for simplicity in trig, we put angles into standard position, which means the vertex, which is this little point right here, is at the origin, 0, 0, and the initial side is along the positive x-axis.
So pointing off towards the number line that you've been using since kindergarten, we might as well keep it as simple as possible, right?
Right. So right here on this, the 0 degrees is over here where this x is, because this is the positive x-axis, and then we just move the angle so that that's its initial side and that its terminal side is wherever it needs to be.
Right.
So, and then there's an example of a positive angle and a negative angle. How do I know if it's positive or negative?
Here's how you know if it's positive or negative. If the angle that we're interested in is created going counterclockwise, you're going in a positive direction.
Right.
And if the angle you're creating is going clockwise, that's moving in a negative direction. Now, having said that, on both of the examples here, even with a positive and a negative angle, we could get the other one for both of those.
Right. And we're going to talk about that in a second, how angles really have multiple names that we could call them by.
Multiple.
Yeah. One thing that might help you remember which direction is positive and which direction is negative is back in the day we learned about quadrants like in Algebra 1 or Algebra 2.
Yeah.
And this we said was the first quadrant. This one we said was the second quadrant, third, and fourth. Well, and at the time that might have seemed like a weird way of numbering our quadrants, but now hopefully it makes sense because if 0 degrees is right here, our quadrants are coming around in the positive direction this way.
Right.
So that's one way that you can remember if you start to forget. So
there you go.